How do I 24F help my husband 29M heal after my infidelity? Story 1. To preface, Reddit does not take kindly to cheaters. I know this. What I did was wrong in every way. There were contributing facts to my infidelity, but they are not excuses. Nothing excuses my behavior, and I am disgusted with myself. After a long-term 5 years emotional relationship with a male friend and a brief third base encounter nearly a year ago, I cheated on my husband for a period of about 3 weeks. My husband and I have been married 5 years. I ended the relationship with the male friend, and I confessed to my husband. This was a month ago? He was of course furious. Then the actual emotional pain set in. He didn't ask many questions, and after avoiding me for a few days, our behavior went back to normal. Better than normal, actually. Like back when we were dating. He has brought it up once since then, just a small offhand comment letting me know it hasn't just disappeared. I know he is hurting and obviously doesn't trust me. My heart hurts so much at what I did him. Words cannot express my remorse. I hate myself for what I did to him, and I love him so dearly. I want us to have a healthy, close relationship. I am grateful he is choosing to forgive me and work through this. I don't deserve his trust right now, and I don't expect this to just be swept under the rug. I am fully prepared to do whatever I can to address the root issues of our problems. For those of you who have been cheated on then reconciled it with your soul, what can I do to help him heal and trust me? Story 2. I cheated on my husband. It saved my life. TLDR, an affair saved my life from committing suicide. My ex-husband was extremely abusive. The guy I met helped me see I deserved better. No longer in abusive relationship. Still with the other man 8 years later. Obligatory first official post. I hope this is the right place to post this. I first wrote this as a comment on our Askwomen, and the positive response was overwhelming. Many said that they needed to hear this. So, hang on, this is going to be a very long ride. I had an extramarital affair. Never did I think I would do something like this. Please don't judge me until you've read my story. My ex-husband was emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically abusive and very controlling. He isn't just a narcissist, he has the full-blown mental illness, and is a textbook psychopath and a sadist. He controlled all of our finances and I could not access my own money. Fuck, I never knew how much was in my bank account. That's what kept me from leaving him. I was terrified of him. He collected guns and was always armed in the house. If I came home early I was afraid he would shoot me. He and my grandmother, yes you read that correctly, she also raised me and is also a narcissist control freak. She punished me for leaving him, had me convinced that I could not make it and live on my own. I have several mental illnesses, and he made them worse. It was severe enough that I ended up in a mental health facility for 2 weeks. My ex was an emergency room nurse and he did not believe in mental illness. I was so worn down that I started planning my suicide. I had a plan and a timeline. The only thing holding me from doing it was that I couldn't decide on if I was going to leave a note. Then I met a guy at work. He was silly, made me laugh, we had fun together, we talked for hours. My ex never spent time with me or made the time together miserable. I was so lonely. But this guy made me so happy. Then I slept with him, and it was amazing. My ex was horrible in bed. I never understood that a person needs physical contact, and I was starved for it. Also, I did not know that interaction with people was a basic need. I was raised to believe that it was a personality defect. When I expressed this to my narc grandmother, she got bitchy with me and said, "You've always been alone. You should be used to it by now." A note before I continue. I was severely abused, neglected and manipulated for my entire life. I could write a docking book. Another story for another day. At that point in my life, everyone had abandoned me. So I figured this guy would eventually leave me. Since I was going to kill myself, I figured that I had nothing to lose. When it ended, I would do it. The universe moves in mysterious ways. The relationship kept improving. I was getting happier, the most happiness I had ever felt, and I was becoming mentally and emotionally stronger. I couldn't understand how something that brought me so much joy could be wrong. I told my piece of acid ex to duck out of my life. At this point, I was strong enough that even if this relationship ended, I could make it on my own. Guess what? That guy, we've been together for 8 years and we still love each other so much. One of these days we will get around to getting married. To those of you who have stayed with me, thank you. I have done a lot of research into narcissistic abuse and emotional abuse. I have a ton of stories, some of them are even funny. If anyone is interested, I will happily write and answer questions. TLDR, an affair saved my life from committing suicide. My ex-husband was extremely abusive. The guy I met helped me see I deserved better. No longer in abusive relationship. Still with the other man 8 years later. Edit. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful comments. I tried to respond to everyone, but I'm sure I missed a few people. It makes me happy to know that there are so many others in my situation. I can't say this enough. It's not your fault. You deserve to be loved. You are enough. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, I am not a religious person. I hate extramarital affairs because of the damage they usually cause. But there is always one case that makes you think and realize that sometimes the lines that make up morality is sometimes blurred, and while I can say I wish you didn't have to cheat to realize you are worth so much more than what your ex-husband was giving you, I am happy you found someone who truly loves you and does not abuse you in any way. I hope you and your new so have many more happy years to come. Redditor 2. I'm not sure if you know this already, but is incredibly common tactic for people to cheat on their abusers. Most survivors of domestic violence feel that they don't have enough reason, need permission to end the relationship, so they cheat to create that reason. A totally normal and human response that is incredibly common. Please be kind to yourself. Once someone abuses you, you owe them no loyalty in any way. Redditor 3, a heartbreaking but also incredibly inspirational story. There's absolutely nothing wrong with what you did. What you had with your ex was not a marriage. Redditor 4, so my husband and I had a talk about cheating last night, nothing to do with us, before people start thinking it was because of that ask women question, and we just discussed if it's right, why people do etc. etc. Of course I feel cheating is wrong, but there's always two sides to a story, and sometimes cheating happens because of a myriad of reasons. This being one of them. It saved your life. And as other people mentioned, Can you really say, your marriage was a marriage? From the sounds of it, that marriage ended years ago. Glad you're still with us and living a wonderful, loving life.